The cost of waiting. Why doing nothing might be the riskiest plan of all. Doing nothing feels safe. No big decisions, nothing uncomfortable, no conversations, no disruption, just staying in the course. But when it comes to your parents and their home and retirement, doing nothing might actually be the biggest mistake of all. Hi there, and welcome. I'm Penelope S. Tzougros, PhD, CHFC, CLU, financial planner and author of Your Home Sweet Home. Before we begin, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. And I want to invite you to think about, if you have questions about your parents' situation, please leave them in the comments below. I read them all, and I often create new videos based on them. We can help each other. You may have a question or a situation that will help somebody else as we talk about it. All the things, of course, are confidential, but we may be more helpful to you as you tell us more about your situation. Why doing nothing feels right? Let's start with something very human. When things seem okay, we tend to leave them alone. Your parents are still in their home, they're managing, nothing is urgent, nothing is happening in a way that's distressful. So the thinking becomes, why change anything? And on the surface, that makes sense. The hidden assumption underneath all of that is the idea that tomorrow will look a lot like today. And in retirement, that assumption is rarely reliable because over time, energy changes, health evolves, costs increase, the house demands more, not suddenly, but gradually. The real cost of waiting is not always obvious at first. It doesn't show up as one big event. It shows up as delayed repairs, rising stress, less flexibility, fewer options, and most importantly, less control over future decisions. What changes when you wait too long? Let's walk through what actually changes when families wait, because this is where everything shifts. When you wait until a crisis, your options shrink. Communities may not have availability. Decisions must be made quickly. There's no time to explore. What could have been a thoughtful choice becomes, what's available right now? How do we fix this minute? It's a hard one. Waiting can also increase financial pressure. Emergency repairs, urgent care needs, short-term solutions. These often cost more than planned transitions. And without preparation for families, they may rely on credit, loans, quick decisions instead of strategic ones. And then there's the emotional side. When decisions are made under pressure, they often feel overwhelming, rushed, uncertain, and that stress doesn't just affect your parents, it affects you too, because suddenly you're not just supporting, you're reacting. Let me pause here. If you're watching this and thinking, we've been putting this off, you're not alone. Most families do, but recognizing that now, before something happens, before forced decisions are made, that's incredibly valuable. And again, if you are not sure what your next step is, leave your question in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them and offer you some new ideas. The opportunity of early action. Now let's flip and think, what happens when families don't wait, when they start early? Everything changes. There's time for exploring options, visiting communities, comparing costs, thinking clearly. Your parents stay in control of the decision. Critical. Small steps, not big decisions. Here's another important shift. Planning does not mean committing. It means preparing. Small steps like researching housing options, talking through preferences, understanding financial impact, identifying backup plans. These don't force change. They create readiness. That's the important part. Something else happens when families plan early. Stress decreases because uncertainty decreases. Instead of thinking, what will we do if something happens? You have thought about it. You have knowledge. You have a context. You've created calm. So let's reframe the idea. Doing nothing is not neutral. It's a decision to delay, a decision to assume, a decision to risk. Reacting later is riskier than making plans now. Your role as the adult child, your role isn't to force action. It's to introduce awareness, to gently say, let's think about this before we have to. That's not pressure. That's care. The goal is not to rush change. The goal is to avoid being rushed, because when families plan ahead, they make better decisions. Calmer decisions, stronger decisions. If this resonates with you, I'd really encourage you to have your questions in the comments box, or your questions as well. Tell me what you've been seeing. Tell me what you're unsure about. Tell me where you feel stuck and where you might want help, or want to pose a question that can help you get an answer and help other people as we make more videos. You can learn more in my book, Your Home Sweet Home, where I provide structured framework for these kinds of decisions. Or you can visit the website wealthychoices.com to get more guidance. But before you go, subscribe, leave a comment below. Do you feel like your family is in a wait and see mode right now? Or are you starting to plan ahead?